Hello carpers and welcome back to the Carp Hunt. Firstly guys, I've got to apologise for the lack of content that's been going on the channel lately. I have been out fishing here and there, you know, getting a few sessions in and catching a few fish. But yeah, the filming side of it has just been to the back of my head lately, you know. I haven't really been too fussed about it. But hopefully moving forward now, I'm going to try and start bringing back a bit more of the filming and get the buzz back for it a little bit, hopefully. I have got a session coming up in October, going to Millbrook Fisheries, middle of October for a 72 hour. So, you know, I really do want to film that episode for you guys and get that out there. And it's such a beautiful place, so it would be nice to get a vlog out for that place. But yeah, just for this weekend, I'm fishing just down on my local club water. If you're a regular viewer of the channel, you'll have seen it plenty of times throughout the channel. You know, it's a lake that I've fished the most out of all the tickets that I have, or all the day tickets that I can fish at. This is probably the most prolific one that I'll go to. So yeah, we're back down here now again. We've got hopefully 72 hours in front of us. Like I say, we're on Saturday and I should be fishing till Tuesday. Hopefully Tuesday morning, lunchtime-ish. So yeah, the weather's looking great for this weekend. You know, it's going to be nice and sunny all weekend. The temperatures are dropping down through the night now. You know, we're finally dropping below 20 degrees temperatures during the daytimes. We're hitting 17, 18s now. And yeah, from the old weather forecast, it's looking like it's going to be dropping down to around 9, 8 degrees through the night. So hopefully I can bring you a good episode and we get a good few fish on the bank. Hopefully they're well up for it. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see for that. We'll see how this session pans out. You know, like I say, 72 hours. If after the first 24, 30 hours, you know, there's not really too much going on, I can always contemplate a move. It's not too busy down here this weekend. I mean, I did think it would be heaving. Now that obviously with the Queen's funeral being on the Monday, you know, it's turning into a bank holiday for a lot of people. So I thought the lake would be fairly busy this weekend. But there was 3 others on when I got here and another 2's just turned up. So there's still plenty of options around the lake if need be. But yeah, where I am set up, I do feel confident in this swim. I've had a few fish out. I've had a fair few fish out of this swim in the past and that, so yeah, I am pretty confident. But yeah, we'll see how it pans out. I will give you a rundown of spots and how I'm fishing and things like that throughout the session. But yeah, for now, I'm going to sit back, keep my eyes on this water, and hopefully we'll get a fish on the bank soon.
I hear the sounds of your heartbeat. I can hear it now. I can hear it now. I hear the sounds. I can hear it now. Of your heartbeat. I can hear it now.
Right, Carper, so yeah, it's first one of the session. Like I say, rod's only been out a couple of hours, so it's quite promising. Hopefully we can nick a good few more fish off at that spot. And yeah, this one went 16.5 pound. Cracking, golden looking common shoes. It's going to behave. Oh. Yeah guys, have a look at that one. Absolute stunner shoes. Yeah, I'm more than happy with that. You know, starting the session, 16.5 pound within a couple of hours. There has been one other fish out so far as well, up the top end of the lake, and I think mate, you said that one was very large. Get some water on it. Yeah mate, so I think that one was 23.5 pound. He said out on the top end of the lake. So yeah, not bad. Hopefully we can capitalise on this now and get a few more. But yeah, I'm just going to get a few pics of her and then we'll get it back. Happy days. carper. So that was a nice little bit of action there to start off the session. Like I say, it was only really in the water for about 2.5 hours, that rod was, and yeah, we've had a fish on the bank, so I'm happy with that. Nice good way to start the session, and it's a 16.5 pounder as well. You know, there is a few smaller ones than that in here as well. The average stamp of them are above 20 pound really. Normally you're getting a good few bites, you get a good few 20s out, so yeah, let's see if we can build on that now, and hopefully we'll have a nice upper 20 out this session, fingers crossed. But yeah, last time I was down here, I had my little boy down here with me. He's only like a little 6-year-old, and we started off at the top of the lake. You know, there's fish all over the surface up there. And but the next morning, we hadn't had a touch up there. There was not a fish, you know. So there was fishing on shallow margin spots up there as well, where the fish were moving in and around as well, you know. So yeah, it was a bit gutted to wake up and not have any fish. But 10 o'clock then that morning, we've had to move down into this swim, the Carp Hunt swim, which I'm in now. And yeah, within an hour we'd had 2 fish on the bank, and one of them was a 26.5 pound common as well. Cracking fish it was, absolute stunner. I'll put up a picture as well so you can have a look at it now. But yeah, it was an absolutely stunning common as well, and you know, there's a couple of more like that in here as well. There's one that goes to around 29 pound, about 28.5, 29 pound. And now this time of year now, you know, when they're going to start really piling on that weight now, when they're eating up, getting ready to bulk up for the winter time. So yeah, they're all going to be up there at the minute as well, I reckon, coming up now towards the top weights. There's been a lot of work done on this lake, you know, it's been netted. So we've had carp, well, we've had all the silvers and small fry and things like that removed from the lake, you know. There's been snakes took out, there's been a lot of tree work done in there as well, and the place is looking absolutely amazing. So, you know, that's only going to help benefit the carp, that is, you know, that hopefully they're going to be thriving in this water now, and they'll start piling on that weight as well. We do have a feeding programme going on here as well, so yeah, hopefully them carp will start really piling on that weight now, and I don't think it's going to be long until this place chucks up a 30. So yeah, hopefully I can be the one that nicks that 30, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see, it remains to be seen, but yeah, hopefully I'll nick that fish. It would be good. But yeah, the bite came to that one then, which is exactly the same rod where we fished down here the other week, me and my boy. When we moved down to here, just over my shoulder here, there's like a tree coming off the corner of the island, and yeah, just over by there, probably about 3 foot away from the actual island. You know, I haven't going in too far with the boat, because you know the water levels are down still a little bit for this time of year now. They haven't come back up yet. We've hardly had any rain, so you know the spots are a good foot and a half down, so it's quite shallow tight to the island. So I'm coming away from it about 3 foot, so you know I'm still fishing in a good couple of feet of water then. And yeah, lo and behold, that spot's done it again. I had the 2 bites off there the other week, and that's what I've had the bite on now. So you know, that might be a bit of a banker spot for this session. It'll give me options to move the other 2 rods around and trying to just to locate maybe some different spots or something like that for this area. You know, I've fished this lake for a long time now, and I've got all my spots for most of the swims, but you know, them spots don't always stay there. They can, the bottom is always changing with the big winds you get. You know, it can be moving dirt around the bottom and stuff like that. And yeah, and obviously pressure as well, when being caught on them spots so many times, they end up moving off. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see if we can nab another one or so. So yeah guys, so at the minute I've got one which I've just had the bite on, which is just over my shoulder here, just off the corner of the island, you know, just a bit away from it. And yeah, that one was on a Wicked White's wafter, just a little white wafter it is, from Mad Baits. Absolutely brilliant bait, been using it for a while now. I think it's been coming up to 2 years now I've been on with Mad Baits, and yeah, absolutely amazing bait. Everywhere I've gone I've done well on it. But yeah, so the other 2 rods, there's one just aerator just out here, and I've got it just fishing just off of that. You know, it's nice and firm around there, and yeah, the oxygen levels have been a bit up and down in here lately. So you know, with that aerator comes on at midnight on the night, and I think it's through till about 9 o'clock in the morning, something like it comes on. So that's definitely going to be an area, you know, that you're going to look to target, because it's should attract fish in there. And then the other one is off over to the other side of the aerator over there, you know, just off the bank over there. There used to be some nice trees that were there. Excuse me, just had a double cheeseburger and it's repeating on me now. But yeah, there used to be some nice trees over there that you could fish through, big bushy ones, but you know, with all the work it's been doing, everything's been trimmed down a bit, you know, just to bring a bit of lease to life to the lake, you know, let some fresh stuff grow through and that. But yeah, it used to be a cracking little spot. So yeah, I've got one tucked under there. Yeah, we'll see what happens on that spot, but like I say, I've got options. If I've got one rod producing, I've got options with the other 2 rods. I can move them about a little bit and play around with them a little bit. But yeah, so we'll see how the session goes with that, guys. You might have seen as well, obviously, that I'm using the bait boat on here. You know, I don't have to use a bait boat I've got one at my disposal, so I'm going to use it. But yeah, I don't have to use it on here, but it is good for when you're going over to them island spots. You know, it can be overgrown a bit above, so you know you can get just nice into them areas. And I just like the way sometimes it presents your bait and that. You know, it's a nice little pile there, nice and tight, and yeah, it looks tidy, and it masks the rig up a little bit more as well. You know, these fish are quite spooky on here as well. Some people might say it's a bit of a runs water, but then some people find it really hard and that, you know, and they struggle a lot on here and they blank for a good part of the year. Then they'll only have a few fish out. I tend to do quite well on here myself, but I do think it's because I employ all of these tactics into my fishing. So yeah, I opt to use a bait boat on here just to get it in there nice and discreetly as well. You know, it's not making too much noise, it's not leads crashing into the water, because these fish, once they know they're being fished for, they'll do the off, and that's it, they're up the other end of the lake. And you know, it has got quite busy now on here. I think there's about 8 other anglers on here now, so it limits the chance of a move there. So yeah, so I think at the minute we're going to be happy with the way we are. And yeah, like I say, the bait boat, it does the job. Some people might call it cheating, but I just say, you know, it's using the technology that's out there for you to put fish on the bank. You know, I could go to a big pit and cast out 100 yards and fish 3 rods on the spot and spum up and everything like that. I can easily do that and gladly do that, and I do pick to do that sometimes on other lakes. But yeah, on a lake like this where it's nice and intimate, that bait boat I think does give you that bit of an edge. But yeah, hopefully we'll put that to put into proof or whatever, you know, and we'll see a few more fish on the bank. But yeah, until then guys, I'll speak to you soon. Tight lines. Wow, good morning carpers, and it's been a very quiet night last night, not much to report, didn't get a single bleep through the night. Yeah, the temperatures really dropped down last night. I think we got down to about 7-8 degrees last night, which is the coldest I've felt now, being out of the bank for a while. So yeah, I think these seasons are coming into their change now a little bit. I think it's supposed to pick up again by the weekend, you know, hitting 14s, 15s through the night, but we've got a bit of a northern leaf lot coming over us kind of thing, you know, so yeah, that's obviously contributed to that drop in temperature. Still comfortable last night at the bivvy, you know, still in a t-shirt. Woke up this morning and just yeah, I had to put my hoodie on when I come out, so it's just a bit of a chill in the air, that's all. Weren't too bad, but yeah, absolutely nothing to report. There's a bloke that's left this morning and come past, and he had one in the night, but sadly he had a hook pull on that. So that's 2 fish he's had over his 24 session. Like, you know, he's landed one and lost one. There was a lad just fishing down a couple of swims away from me, but apparently he packed up early this morning, wasn't feeling too good, so I didn't get a chance to have a chat with him. So yeah, this morning now guys, I think we're going to have to just assess the situation. I've reeled in this morning when I've got up. Well, I reeled in about an hour ago, but yeah, nipped off, just looked to the town centre quick. Got myself the old McDonald's. Feed the belly for the day, I think. And yeah, so I think now what I'll do is I'll have a little walk around, see what's happening around the lake. I think what's really killed it for my spot for this session was just over the way here. There's 2 lads that have turned up last night, quite late. So like towards the evening time, and yeah, they're only youngish lads, but yeah, crashing like leads in and recasting constantly up and down the bank, you know. And this lake, it is one of them where you have to just set your traps, sit on your hands, and just be quiet. You know, you have to really sit back from the water and be quiet to try and lure them fish in and get them bites. But you know, I think they're new on the lake, so they'll learn that as their sessions go on as well. But yeah, I think that's what's hindered my chances of another bite. From where my 3 rods are fishing, you know, it's not too far away from where they're casting in and stuff like that. So any fish that would have been around and about, they'd have pushed out the area now, and they're probably sitting up right at the top corner of the lake where there's no one up there. You know, there's no lines up, but that's the only part of the lake where there's no lines in the water. So it's probably a good chance that they've pushed off up there. But what I'm going to do is I'll have a lap of the lake, go and see what I can see. Probably have a chat with the lads around there as well, just to see what time they're shooting off at, or if they're staying on any longer. Because, you know, if they're going to be leaving today, it's not too bad then. Freeze up, there's all them lines in that water there will be gone, and it'll give the fish a chance to move back in and hopefully drift back in onto my spots. So, yeah, we'll have to play it by ear, but we'll go around in a minute, have a little chat, have a little lap of the lake, and see what to do for the rest of the session. You know, I've still got 48 hours ahead of me. So yeah, I want to put myself in prime position really to land another fish or two, but yeah, we'll have to wait and see. But for now, going to enjoy this McDonald's, and then yeah, get my legs working and get a little lap around this lake. Right then, Carpers, so yeah, just thought I'd give you a quick update. We're currently now on midday, it's 12 o'clock, so I've only just got the rods back out. So what I did earlier, I was obviously had that McDonald's, and yeah, I went and had a little lap around the lake. Had a chat to a few of the lads that are fishing. There's not been one fish caught around the lake last night, you know, it's really fishing a bit slow at the minute for some reason. But yeah, the two younger lads that are over just opposite me kind of thing, just on the far margin over there, I've had a chat with them. They're shooting off like around 4 or 5 o'clock this evening, I think they said. So I think I'm going to stick it out in this swim. You know, with them going, the two lads over on the dark side, well, one's gone, the other one's going to be going shortly, and there's one mate he left right at the top end. So yeah, hopefully, you know, by probably this evening I'm going to have the lake pretty much to myself unless other people turn up. So yeah, I think just sitting in this swim now, you know, it is a decent swim, so I think the fish will drift back into here. So yeah, I've made a couple of little changes at the minute. My right hand rod was fishing past where there's a tree to my right, you know, just it's a bit of an angled tree that comes out. It's a good little spot under there, but further on past that there's two bushes there, which they're, you know, they're not flourishing at the minute. They've all been chopped back, but that's normally a decent little spot. And yeah, I haven't really had a touch off for that, but I do think it's probably because of all the activity over on that far bank, you know. So yeah, but what I've decided to draw back in from that. So underneath the tree to my right here, I've just gone and just had a little lead around under there, and it's only about 4 foot deep under there at the minute. You know, the water level, like I say, is still about a foot down, something like that. So, but yeah, so I've had a little lead around, and it's a little bit silty around there. But then there's a little, probably a bin lid size that's just absolutely rock solid there, kind of thing. Just what, about 2-3 foot out from the bank, just underneath the first tree. So yeah, I've boated in underneath that there and just presented a nice little bait there. So yeah, fingers crossed that one will go. You know, as cold as it got last night, I'm back in a t-shirt again now. I'm absolutely sweating. When that sun's out, it's like it's pretty much summer still. So yeah, hopefully they'll push into their margins a bit more today, and yeah, I reckon we'll pick up a fish throughout the day today. So yeah, that one, my right hand rod is now under there. My middle rod is now the left hand rod, where that was fishing, over towards the corner of the island underneath that tree. That is now my middle rod, and the left hand rod I've pushed further around to the left. You know, there's two swims over like behind me here heading down, but they're both empty, there's no one in them. So there's a little like cove area over towards out in front of the swim next to me. Cove's in a little bit, so I've gone just off the point of that cove to hopefully catch any fish intercepting and moving along that margin there. So yeah, that's what I'm doing for now, guys. We'll see if that pays off, and yeah, hopefully in the next couple of hours we can grab a fish. You know, I sat round on the other side for a couple of hours as well talking to Leon. So the swim here out in front of me has had no lines in the water now for a good 3-4 hours, so it's had a nice little bit of a rest. I've been and used the facilities, I've had my McDonald's, and we've been and got some information from all the other anglers around the lake. So yeah, hopefully putting all that to use, I can now nick a fish this afternoon. Yeah, only time will tell. We'll see what happens. Right, carpers, so we're just coming up to 7:30 now. Still it's quite light on the camera, but yeah, it's starting. I think by about 8 o'clock now it'll be dark, so yeah, I will leave the camera out for another half hour or so. Hopefully one of these will go screaming off and we can get another fish on the bank. But yeah, like I say, it's going to start getting dark soon, so yeah, I'm going to pack the camera away in a little bit. So yeah, we'll give it half hour or so. Hopefully we'll get a fish on the bank before it gets dark. If not, hopefully I'll see you through the night. Other than that, I'll have probably got a good night's sleep and be seeing you first thing in the morning. Good night, guys. Tell you what, you can't write this stuff. So left hand rod just goes melting off, and yeah, we had a nice common, and then just as I'm getting the camera stuff sorted out, right hand rod's gone off. There's another nice common. Wow. Well, that one's, the second one's a bit smaller than the first. I think the first one might be an upper double, and yeah, the other one's a low double, I think, by the look of it. Yeah, absolutely amazing. It's a good job I didn't move. Right, and carpers. So here's the first of that brace of commons. I haven't weighed this one. I reckon it's probably only about 10–11 pound at a scratch, you know. But yeah, mad little action of flurry there. Just landed the other one, and then yeah, this one went off. This one was the right hand margin rod, the one over to then the treeless trees, should I say. Yeah, absolutely buzzing with that one, but the other one's a bit bigger than this one, so we'll get her right now and we'll give you a look at that one. Get in. Here we go then, guys, second one of that way. This was the first bite on that brace of commons. Nice 17 pound common. So yeah, we're going to get this one back in the set now, get them rods back out on them spots, and hopefully this is a sign of things to come for the next, you know, I've probably got just over 24 hours to go, so yeah, hopefully I can get a couple more on the bank. Hopefully the fish will turn up down in the set now, and yeah, thank God I didn't move, eh? But yeah, let's see if we can get a few more on the bank, get in, tight lines. Right, carpers, so after a busy night of catching them two commons through the night, you know, I was absolutely shattered as well after that. Like, it was the left hand one that went first, then as I was sorting out the camera stuff and the lighting and everything for that one, the right hand rod went. So yeah, so it ended up pretty much double bubble, you know, a nice brace of commons. Yeah, after doing what I needed, doing a bit of filming, slipping them two back, got the rods back out, but yeah, I weren't 100% happy on them. You know, it's quite foggy last night once I was putting them back, and you know, the fog that's coming out your mouth, so when you're showing your red torch, it was making it so difficult. But yeah, lo and behold, I must have gotten spot on where I wanted them, because yeah, I've had another bite this morning now off the one. The other one I'm still not too sure about. I might just have a redo of that one this morning just to make sure I'm 100% perfect. But yeah, like, I didn't fall back to sleep until about 5 o'clock, so I was struggling to get back to sleep, and yeah, I must have dozed off, and then it was 8:45 and I just woke up to a ripper of a take on the right hand rod again, the one over towards the treeless trees that was on about. So yeah, absolutely buzzing about that. Again, that was on the wicked white wafter, that one was again, so yeah, they're really doing well. They've done me well all season, kind of in the old wicked whites and the next plus. But yeah, we've just got her in the net now, we've just set up everything, so yeah, we're going to get her out now and have a look. And looks like it's more than likely the biggest one of the session so far as well, so yeah, let's go get her out and we'll have a look at that. Right, and carpers. So yeah, we've just had a weigh of her, and as expected, yeah, she's the biggest one of the session so far. She's a 22.5 pound common. It's full of energy. There we go, guys, check that one out. Set of shoulders on her, absolutely amazing colours. Beautiful, stunning specimen of a common. Right, Carpers, so we're coming up towards midday now. We've just gone past 11 o'clock, so yeah, we're not far off lunchtime. And yeah, I just thought we'd have a little recap of how the session's gone so far. Obviously the first day we had that nice little common, round, I think it was around 5:30, we had that bite. And then yeah, the swim went dead, you know, and I do believe it was because of the two anglers that I had over the other side there, you know, crashing in leads constantly, like recasting. It did push them fish away, and as I thought, you know, once they were gone, I did think that the fish would move back in. There was a lad that turned up yesterday, and he went up onto the dark side, and I went up, he come back round and he says there was quite a few fish around there, so I had a reel in and went and had a little walk around and had a look, and I didn't really see too much, but you know, he knows what he's talking about, and the sun had gone in at this point as well, so I think they'd just dropped down a bit. You couldn't really make them out too well, but yeah, I was contemplating a move at that point, but I thought, you know what, no, I'm going to stick to my plan, stick it out, and let them two lads had gone and see what happens. And yeah, sure enough, had that double take in the night, like 3 o'clock, 3:15 in the morning, something like that. And then yeah, again, I don't think I went to sleep until about 4 or 5 o'clock, something like that, by the time I actually fell back to sleep. So yeah, I was in the land of Nod, and yeah, that right hander just went screaming off. Normally I don't sleep in that late at all, but yeah, like I say, with that bit of action last night, I was absolutely shattered. With not getting back to sleep until an hour or two after, sort of thing. So yeah, I was catching up on a bit of kip, as you can tell. I still look fucking absolutely shattered now. But yeah, so, and then we've ended up having that nose from this morning, 22.5 pound current, absolutely stunner. Well, over the moon with that one. So yeah, the plan was, I was contemplating a move to the other lake today as well, but I think I'm just going to stick it out here now and see if we can just put another fish or maybe 2 more fish on the bank. You know, that'll be an absolute banging episode to bring back, a good few fish on the bank. It already is now, you know, I've had 4 fish, so I'm happy with how the session's gone. I've got 24 hours left to go, so I reckon I can still put another 1 or 2 on, hopefully, just as long as these fish, you know, they stay around or they don't move off too far from the morning's commotion and that. But yeah, all 3 rods are out on the money. I'm full up now as well. I've just smashed a load of bacon sarnies, about 3 bacon cobs. I've just smashed off some of them, and a nice vanilla latte. So yeah, I'm fueled, ready to go. I've had a wash, a change of clothes. I feel good, I feel fresh. So yeah, now all that needs is another couple of fish on the bank. Another thing I wanted to touch on as well, guys, obviously them fish that I had in the night, we do have the aerator that comes on between midnight and 9 AM in the morning. So the filming that I did last night, I haven't looked back on it yet, so you know, it might have a fair bit of noise in the background from the aerator, so I can only apologise about that. The camera I'm using, it's a Sony HD cam, but I don't have the fitting on there to have like an external mic on it or anything like that. It's just that you can only use the mic that's on the camera, so I do have to upgrade that eventually and get myself like a proper mic pack and everything like that, so obviously the sound quality comes through better for you guys then. But yeah, that'll all come in good time. So yeah, that's it for now, guys. Hopefully we'll have another fish on the bank soon. Well, Carpers, we're coming up to 6:30 now in the evening. I've just had to have a quick reel in just to go and use the toilet, the on-site toilet. So yeah, that's all well and good now for the rest of the evening. But yeah, so all the rods are back out now, on the money, on the spot. Nice fresh hook baits on there, so they're good to be fishing now up until I pack up tomorrow, or obviously if we have any fish on the bank, which hopefully it's the latter and we have a good few fish on the bank. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see for that one. Done all I can now. It's in the Carp God's hands, and I tell you what, it's feeling a lot warmer tonight than it was last night. You can really tell the difference. Like I say, we've had a bit of a southwesterly change now in the wind, even though it's not really blowing or anything like that, but you can tell the difference in the temperatures. Every night so far since I've been here, the last 2 nights, it's dropped down to about 6-7 degrees through the nights. Friday night, I weren't out fishing that night, but that dropped down to about 2-3 degrees on some parts of the island. So yeah, so now we're looking at 12-13 degrees tonight. So hopefully, you know, even though I had a couple of bites last night, might entice them to have a bit more of a feed tonight, who knows. I have gone a little bit more heavier on the bait tonight. I've just put over each spot, you know, the way I'm bait boating out to, I've just put my usual amount on them, but the spot to the treeless tree over the back there, I've gone round and I've put a couple of scoops in just around that general area as well, to hopefully get a few more fish in on there and keep them there feeding as well. You know, after I'm getting a bite, I think them fish are pushing away and it's taking them a good while for them to come back in again. You know, like I say, it's only a small intimate lake, so that bit of disturbance, they're pushing off and they're doing the off. So yeah, hopefully with a good bit more bait there, rather than just fishing for a bite at a time, tonight on that spot only, I'm going to fish to try and build up a bit of a hit of a fish, but we'll see if it works. If not, it doesn't really matter. We've had 4 fish so far this session, so I'll be happy with just 1 more fish, to be honest, and a nice mirror would, I'd be very happy with that if a good mirror come along that, but yeah, we'll wait and see. But for now guys, I'm going to kick back, go and do myself a bit of food, and yeah, just enjoy this evening, and hopefully I'll see you soon with a fish, guys. Good morning, carpers, and as you can tell, we are now on the morning, and that could only mean one thing: it's been a very quiet night. Not even a bleep was to be had last night. Woke up this morning, I think I woke up around 7 o'clock-ish, and yeah, I was quite shocked really to have not received a take during the night. I really did think the carp would have got down this end last night, and you know, even with me putting quite a bit of extra bait on that one spot by the treeless tree, I did think that probably would have paid off last night, but who knows, it might have killed the spot off in a sense, putting a bit too much bait in on that spot. But you know, you don't know until you try these things, and yeah, you got to try something different sometimes to try and bring about a different result. But yeah, it could just be the fact that the fish have just moved out of this area. You know, there was a lot of commotion down this end of the lake yesterday, a lot of pressure, plus then me having the fish like, you know, the night before, 1 in the morning. I think all of that, it's probably just pushed the fish off up to the other end of the lake. You know, there was only 2 of us on here last night, me and there was another lad, Mark, that was at the top end, right up in the very opposite top corner. And he set up yesterday when he got here. I think he was set up for about 4 or 5 o'clock, something like that, maybe a bit earlier, but after about 30 minutes, something like that, maybe even less, he sent me a picture and he's had a fish already out of that end. So I haven't heard from him yet this morning to see how he's got on through the night, but I'll give him a message soon and I'll see how he's got on, see if he's had any more. But yeah, absolutely shocked, to be fair. I did think it was good for another bite last night. The conditions were perfect, really overcast, quite mild last night. You know, I got up about 3 o'clock in the morning, and yeah, I just come outside and had a little look around and that, like, just see if I could see anything going on. And yeah, it was lovely. I was standing there in a t-shirt. It was lovely last night, but nah, no fish. So it's just one of them, isn't it? Can't go to plan all the time. Still had a decent session. You know, four fish over the 72 hours. Well, it's going to be a bit less than 72 hours, to be fair, but got about 2 hours still left to go, and it's just turned 9 o'clock. The air rate has just gone off, so I thought, well, I'll get a camera out now, do a bit of filming, because yeah, trying to film with that going in the background, it's a bloody nightmare. So yeah, we're on 9 o'clock now. I'll probably start slowly packing up about 10:30, and then I'll have the rods in for about 11, half 11, so you know, it still could happen. This lake throws up bites throughout any time of the day, really, at night. You know, there's not really a set bite time on here. There is some favourable times on here when bites happen, but yeah, there's no real set times. It just, if they're there, they're there. If they ain't, kind of thing. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see now. Hopefully we can nick 1 more fish before we have to So we've come to the end of this episode now, guys. Everything's packed down, the rods are all packed away, and I'm about to go and get that car loaded. Sadly, no more fish on the bank, but all in all, it hasn't been too bad of a session. You know, 4 fish on the bank, biggest one being 22.5 pound common. You know, within condition, the situation we've had, contemplating the move, you know, and then sticking to our guns, staying put, and yeah, putting 4 fish on the bank. You know, I could have had maybe a move, landed on a couple of more fish, put a few more fish on the bank, but it is what it is. Played out the way it played out, but yeah, like I say, still 4 fish on the bank, so it's a bit of a success in a sense anyway. I did hear from Mark this morning as well, and he only had one other fish, so he's had 2 fish over, but he's done less than 24 hours at the minute, so he's on for a decent little session himself at the minute. I'm not sure how long he's doing, but yeah, he said he had another fish at 4 o'clock this morning, so I do feel that the fish just pushed out of this area with all the pressure yesterday, with me catching a few fish in that as well. They've just moved off, so yeah, I could have chased them around, but yeah, a bit of lazy angling on my part in the end. Is what it is, like I said. So, but yeah, thanks for tuning into this episode, guys. It's been a decent one, you know, a few fish on the bank, and I hope you've all enjoyed it. As always, guys, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and give the video a share for me. And yeah, I'll be back out on the bank soon, bringing you another episode. But until then, guys, tight lines.